morning from the Sky Zone studio. It's Corey, Melanie, and Chuck.
Introducing
The Pulse Morning Jumpstart. Yeah! Pulse FM. Positive hits.
8:08, a sunny 42 degrees outside, the sun shining down on the Golden Dome, even though some of us maybe shed a tear or two because our friend Muffet McGraw has decided to step down after 33 years at the helm of the Notre Dame program, and the coach graciously joining us here on the flagship home of Notre Dame women's basketball. Muffet, good morning.
Good morning, Chuck.
When did you really make this decision to step down?
This is something I look at every year. Since the championship, after that year, kind of looked and said, I think I'll go one more year. And so, most people go and have a 5-year plan. I have a 1-year plan every year. And going through this season, I thought, I learned a lot after the season, thought about it a lot, where we are. I wanted to make sure the program was back healthy and ready to challenge for the next Final Four. And I saw the class coming in and thought, we are in great shape right now, but maybe it's time for me to step down and kind of enjoy another challenge. I am interested in doing something away from basketball.
Okay. Over your career, where do you think you improved the most as a coach?
I went through a complete metamorphosis. When I started, coaching was very different back then. It was 90% coaching. It was all X's and O's, and it was a little bit of the Bobby Knight, my way or the highway. This is how we're going to do it. And as kids changed, and especially with this generation, who really they thrive on praise and they thrive on positive feedback. And in sports, generally, there's consequences and there's usually some negative feedback. So I had to learn how to kind of change and be a lot more positive, with what we gave them after games and during games. And they, trying to teach them mental toughness is hard these days because a lot of kids don't know how to handle adversity. So I had to turn into a psychologist, I think, by the end.
Yeah, I thought it might have been increased use of sarcasm, but I wasn't sure.
I got something for you,
That
Coach.
is my native language.
Coach, I got a text from Chuck yesterday, and I was off social media for the afternoon, and he said, well, and he made a comment, and I'm reading, and I see you stepping down, Neil Ivey stepping up, and I said, well, that escalated quickly. What an afternoon of unfolding, with social media and this pandemic that we're in. Was there more thought to stepping away, having this current atmosphere of giving yourself some time to think and breathe? I feel like I find myself thinking about my past, my current, and my future during all of this. Was that happening for you?
Well, we've had so much more time to reflect and to really think about what's important in life. And I thought it was a great time for me to see what is retirement going to look like. So I kind of made the decision, but I wanted to sleep on it, and then it turned into a couple of weeks, and I wondered, how am I going to live without basketball? I'm kind of addicted to it. So it was nice. I had a full month without any basketball, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm enjoying doing food drives and getting out in the community, and I want to do more. And I think it's a good time to step away.
What will you miss most about coaching?
I think practice. I'm sure that come the fall, I'm going to miss being at practice, but it's mostly just the people. The other coaches, the coaches in the department, the people in the department, and of course the local media. I think that's probably what I'm going to miss the most.
Again, sarcasm, your native language. Did you call Gino yet?
I'm waiting by my phone for that call to come in. I'm not making the first move.
Coach, reading the news clips yesterday and watching a little bit of your online announcement, and then just minutes ago, I'm leaning into every word you're saying, and you said maybe the next adventure is outside of basketball. Follow-up question, care to share what that might be? What are you dreaming about, or are you just dreaming in general?
Well, I think that there's a lot of things that I would like to do, but initially I am going to stay on and still be part of the athletic department, helping Jack Swarbrick with some special projects and anything that he has. I would love to teach at Notre Dame. I think there's some new majors coming up with a sports management degree that I would love to get involved with. I've been approached about writing a book, which I would love to do something for women, a book that women could really kind of get some tips from. And, I'm open. I don't know if you guys have any jobs available there. I'm not really a morning person, but I think I could fill in.
You're doing just fine this morning. You're making the rounds all right. What would you envision a course that you teach being? You mentioned sports management. Did we lose
Sorry.
her? Oh. Yeah, we're here.
Jack? Okay.
What would you envision this course that you would teach at Notre Dame? What do you see that as?
I think leadership would definitely be a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think our phone signals are.
Yes, it's back now. I'm
Okay.
walking around the house.
No, you're fine. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to ask you is, I have to think, if ESPN has a brain in its head, they're calling you soon to ask you to do some commentary on women's basketball. Would that interest you at all?
No, it really wouldn't. I really want to step away from the game. I've done it for 40 years, and I really think it's time for a new career path.
Wow. How about third grade basketball coach volunteer? Does that do anything for you?
No. I'm
No.
hoping for grandchildren to appear at some point. Maybe then I'll get back into coaching.
There you go. Murph, pressure's on. Okay, here's a quick would you rather, because both of these ideas have been bounced out there. And I know you're a humble person, but would you rather have the court named after you, like Pat Summitt has at Tennessee, or a statue like Lou Holtz has at Notre Dame?
Well, I'm going to pretend my phone just went out.
But I'm sure you've heard both of those ideas put out there.
I have not heard that. Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that, Chuck. So you decide.
Okay. I would give you both, but that's me.
Coach, you said you've had a month to just decompress. Chuck mentioned earlier, what did you learn the most about yourself? How about in the last month? Have you, and I ask you this, Chuck, quite a bit, like, what are you learning about yourself as we are in this life timeout? What are you experiencing about your own person?
Well, I think I didn't know that I would enjoy the solitude as much. I am an introvert. I do like being around the house and not being out that much. So, and I enjoy being out in my garden, which I can't wait to get out there to do. But I've had a lot more patience. I think I've been more content than I expected I would be. I thought that I would always have to be moving and doing something, and I've started cooking. You love to see that. I'm baking and learning new things.
So is Matt sure that he's ready for this?
I don't think he is. He doesn't know what to do with me in the kitchen. That's going to be interesting. But, yeah, I'm going to have him out on the golf course because they are open.
That is true. If you had to give Niele a piece of advice about, hey, watch out for this. This is something you might not expect or necessarily be ready for. What do you think that would be?
Well, I would turn off notifications on social media, and I would not read anything that comes out. I think I would just really keep my circle very close. I don't think she needs to be listening to anyone's opinions other than the people that she trusts and people that are surrounding her.
How excited are you about Niele taking that position?
I'm so thrilled. I mean, she has been just such a big part of our program, and she is so ready for this moment. So we've had to fight to keep her over the last few years, and of course, last year losing her to the NBA was kind of a huge step up for her. So she's learned a lot, and so anxious to get things going now.
Do you remember? Take me back to the recruiting process with her as a player. Do you remember? Have you had a chance to kind of reflect on what you had to say or what it took to get her to come to Notre Dame?
Well, that was a great experience. Recruiting was a little different back then. You kind of went to see them, you talked to them a couple of times, you brought them on campus, and got to know him. And I remember seeing her in a game, and she went 0 for 11. And I came away thinking to myself, like, God, I love that kid. I mean, defensively, she was aggressive, and, she was clearly nervous that I was there. And I thought that was kind of good, too, that she was nervous. But, of course, I would be there for her 4 years and hope that she wouldn't continue to be 0 for 11 and miss shots because I was watching. But she came on campus wearing the skirt, got off the plane with a cake that her mom had baked for me. And after she left and went home from the visit, she called me that night and said, if the offer is still there, I would love to come to Notre Dame. And she was just such an amazing kid. I was just a great recruit for us.
I asked you what you were going to miss. What aren't you going to miss?
I'm sorry.
I mentioned this yesterday, but those in-game interviews,
Oh, yes.
during the Final Four, those
Wow.
are some of my favorites,
Oh, in game.
Yeah, where Holly Rowe
Yes.
comes over
Yeah,
and
the
talks to
in-game.
her.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Hey, Mississippi State just went on a 10-0 run. Coach, what are you thinking? I don't think you want to know, really, what I'm thinking.
You could have borrowed a Greg Popovich style there and just
I
given
love him.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's the master of those. Well, I can't tell you how much we appreciate the relationship we've had with you over the years, and certainly plan on that continuing. You've been a wonderful friend. I want to tell you, I started at WNDU the same year that you came to Notre Dame, 1987. And like you, I believe in equal pay. So if you could tell Jack Swarbrick, I'm a little bit behind because I'm not ready to retire yet.
You're like Scottie Pippen in the documentary, aren't you? You need a new agent, Chuck Breedy.
Exactly.
Muffet, I want to tell you a quick story. Back in the late
Okay.
90s, I think it was your idea, if I remember correctly, to partner with a local radio station promoting the games. And I was doing the morning show back in the day on U93, and we had this pre-game listener deal. And we had like 30 listeners that came to the game, and we had dinner for them, and they got posters. And the head coach of the basketball program stops by before the basketball game and spent time with these people. And I don't know that Muffet would have done that in 2019. She's probably a little bit busier. But that sold me that moment of you care about the fans, you still care about the fans, and that made a huge impact on me that day.
I love our fans. And, I feel the same about you guys. You have been with me throughout my whole career, really, and just so many great relationships I've made with people in the community. But our fans are the best in the country.
And make sure you continue to ride Bob Nagel to bring you chocolates, okay?
Got to have myself in chocolate.
Exactly. Coach, we know you've got a lot of things to do this morning. We appreciate you making some time for our silliness.
Well, this was the highlight of the day. I'm glad to get me started.
Thanks a lot. Muffet McGraw, the outgoing head coach at the University of Notre Dame.
The Morning Corny.
Some of his jokes are funny, but some of them are just like, why did you say that?
8:50. Get your giggles right here on Pulse FM.
It's uplifting and it's funny in a positive way.
Positive hits.